I need to talk to you about Tommy Robinson again, because on Thursday, 11th of July, 2019, he entered the Old Bailey courthouse in London and they sentenced him to 9 months of imprisonment. And why? Because he drew attention to the Muslim child rape gangs that are so endemic in England and that are being ignored by the British press and by the British judicial system. That's why. And in reality, he'll actually end up serving about 66 days, because that takes into account the fact that he was falsely imprisoned for this exact same incident before. I'll get to that in a second, but this also assumes that he survives the 66 days, which isn't a sure shot, given how many threats he receives. And it also assumes that they don't conjure up new charges while he's there, and I wouldn't put it past them. If you want to learn the obfuscated logic that was used most recently against Tommy Robinson, then you can watch the video by David Wood. He has a YouTube channel called Acts 19 Apologetics, but here's the skinny of it. Tommy Robinson was charged for filming outside of the courthouse where Muslim child rapists were being sentenced. He was charged for that, for the act of journalism. And then they put him through an entire trial all on the same day that he was arrested. Then they put him in solitary confinement for 2 months, where he was essentially starved, because his cooks were Muslim cooks who were threatening to put things in his food, which led to him losing 40 pounds in 2 months. He almost died. The entire case was a sham. It was improper, in the words of the British legal system. It was so improper that they threw out the entire case and let him go. And then they recharged him again. And that's what we're dealing with now. The fact they charged him again for the same incident. And are using different justifications this time. They're just coming up with different reasons why he should be imprisoned. The truth of the matter is, if the British government wants to silence you, they'll come up with charges against you. It doesn't matter what you did or didn't do, they'll make it up as they go along. And it's not as uncommon as it appears. Tommy Robinson is a big name, he has a big following, and that's why you've probably heard about this case. But there are other people who aren't as well known, who are sentenced for talking about the wrong thing, because free speech no longer exists in England, nor does a free press. In fact, you'll notice how the British press is dutifully participating in the cover-up for the British establishment. They're participating in the justifications for why it's okay to lock up this journalist. It's disgusting, to put it mildly, and to be a British journalist, it would seem that you have to sell your soul. Peaceful protests don't work anymore. There have been plenty of protests for Tommy Robinson, and they've been ignored. I don't think these protests work because you can't shame these people. They can't be shamed. They don't have any shame. These are the judges who sentenced Tommy Robinson. And if these people look evil to you, I see it too. These are the people who essentially threw out free speech and just charged him with whatever they felt like, whatever justifications just came to mind. And then he was sent to Belmarsh Prison, a high-security prison which houses terrorists, generally speaking. It even houses the 2 terrorists who killed Lee Rigby, who was the British soldier who was hacked up for the sake of Islam in the streets of England. He was hacked up with knives and cleavers in the street by these terrorists, and they're going to be in the same prison as Tommy Robinson. Julian Assange is also held there. It would seem that the British government views all of these people exactly the same way in their warped sense of morality. I don't think they have any sense of morality. But anyway, this is one reason why I could never visit England. It's because I constantly say truthful things, on my channel, in my videos. I don't even think about it. I just say what is true. I don't think about what law might be broken by this truthful message, because here in America, I don't have to worry about that. If I'm being honest, if I'm telling the truth, then it's fine. And so I don't ever break American law. But British law, sure. I mean, Britain's hate speech laws, these ridiculous excuses for how they can lock people up for no real reason whatsoever, this authoritarian legal system. This is why America broke free and rebelled, regardless of what, if you're a Brit, you may have been told in school. The Americans weren't just a bunch of disgruntled malcontents. they rebelled for the sake of freedom. Prior to the revolution, the English were holding these fake trials of people who questioned the king so they could get rid of those people. It's really not altogether that different from what just happened with Tommy Robinson. And when we think of shithole countries, we might think of countries deep in South America, or maybe the secluded countries inside of Africa, or maybe the Middle East. But sometimes they're our closest neighbours across the Atlantic. I think France, Germany, and England stan all qualify at this point. If you want to write to Tommy to lift his spirits, you should, and I'll put the address on screen. He's going to be in solitary confinement, probably both as a punishment and also because the threats against him are constant, especially in a prison that houses Islamic terrorists. So he'll be in solitary confinement and he'll appreciate your letters, because it'll be the only thing he gets to do all day is read the fan mail, and hopefully you can help lift his spirits. Be aware the name that is given is not the name Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is actually a pseudonym. Some of his detractors use this like it's some kind of something evil about him. It's really common to use a pseudonym for public figures, media people. I mean, even Elton John and Jack Black, it's just really common. But this is somehow some great detraction. It's crazy. Anyway, write to Tommy Robinson and maybe make his day. Stop. Don't leave yet. Since you made it to the end, you probably enjoyed that video. In that case, here are some other videos that you might enjoy. The updates link at the top will provide you with better ways to be more reliably notified of new videos, and it also has social media information, that kind of thing. That's because you know how this site is. Well, the link at the bottom, the store link, that's in case you're looking for merchandise or our healthier products. Thanks.